Console, online. HPG connection, online. Educational module, online. All systems, nominal.
Hello, class, and welcome to On the Origin of Battlemechs Podcast, episode 57. I am your host, Brent Stewart McKee. My co-hosts today are...
I'm Joshua.
And I'm Chandler.
You sound
sure?
confused, Chandler.
You sure about that?
Am I Chandler? I don't know anymore, man. Am I Stan Jarman? Am I Chandler? Which one is it? I don't know.
Now, are you John Malkovich?
Are you John Galt?
I don't know.
Who is John Galt?
A dream.
Well, today we are going to continue talking about the Phoenix Hawk with Part B. And, of course, it continues to be a fantastic 45-ton mech, excellent in any scout lance. The first model today we are talking about is the PXH-1 lowercase b uppercase c. So this guy has a movement profile of 696. It's got a medium laser and a narc in the left arm. It's got an ER large laser and a medium laser and a flamer in the right arm, and an ECM suite in the center torso. It's got 12 double heat sinks and endo steel and an XL engine to help pay for that weight.
So, based on the NARC and the uppercase C, I'm betting that this is a Comstar variant based off of the Royal variant.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty
so
close, yeah.
The long and the short of it is when Comstar took over Terra, they had a whole bunch of heavily damaged 1Bs, and they were unable to get them up and running, but they were able to retrofit them with this new weapons layout and use them against the clans on Tukiad.
So this is technically a clan buster Phoenix Hawk.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. So essentially they mothballed all the damaged ones until Tukiad, and they took the narc beacons off of a bunch of Kintaros, ended up giving the DCMS during that tech exchange with the Combine in 3030s, and slapped it on this and called it a day. And it's a pretty good mech.
Yeah, it's not bad. It also has the redesign art, but it has it from a different perspective, which I think is quite cool. A little less action posy, but a little more shooty, I think is a good way to describe it.
Yeah. It also doesn't look like the chin overhangs. So,
Yeah.
I'm not sure if the head moves anymore. I don't know. We'll find out. Find out next week on Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, the head definitely looks a lot more nested. In fact, it kind of looks like the torso comes above where the head would rotate. But that might just be a perspective issue.
Bit of a gorget going on there.
This one feels a lot more like a mix of the Kickstarter and the MechWarrior Online version, where the head's a little bit more nested into the torso.
Mm-hmm.
But that's probably a lot of perspective.
Yeah. So this guy was seen in 3052, and it's got a battle value of 1174 and a point value of 27. And I think this guy's pretty sweet. I think the Flamer is an interesting addition because in the notes it says it's not really for engaging things so much as sabotaging supplies or covering a retreat by setting fire to woods or something like that. And I think that's a pretty good use of a Flamer.
Yeah. So the real question is, it's a narc, so when is it going to get some stitches? Because snitches get stitches.
Well, and I like the idea of having that NARC for long-range raids and commando work, because you can shoot up a bunch of stuff with that NARC, and then, I mean, technically this isn't how it necessarily works in the rules, because you'd have to have an LRM mech within 21 hexes, but if we fudge it for story purposes and for real-world capabilities, you could theoretically narc a bunch of targets that you want to hit with more serious firepower, like artillery, homing artillery rounds that could home in on narc beacons or something like that, and then skedaddle out of the area while that heavy ordnance is incoming and just obliterates everything that has a narc beacon attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
You can still get that effect with LRMs at long range, but it just doesn't work out quite as well, I would think.
And also narratively, a big honkin' missile coming down than a whole bunch of small missiles is much cooler.
There's that too.
What was that little noise? Okay.
Yeah.
Whoosh in distance.
So after this guy, we come to the 3D Gemin, and this is a named model that was pulled from a scenario pack. It's got a movement profile of 717. It's got a large X-pulse laser in the right arm and a medium X-pulse laser in the left arm. It has 13 double heat sinks, and it's got endo steel and an XL engine and ferro to help pay for all that weight.
This one sounds interesting, and the fact that it's from Turning Point's Franck Reaches, which is the joint colonization zone between the Taurian Concordat and the Magistracy of Canopus, basically where the Origin Coalition is in HBS Battletech. I'm interested in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Periphery Mech, it's 711.
It jumps 7. That's a great number.
It is. Yeah, this guy's interesting. I want to play with it.
And the X-Pulse lasers are a cool bit of tech that I also wish to play with more on the tabletop.
I've used X-Pulse lasers in a Grasshopper, and they generate a lot of heat, but clan players cheat because X-Pulse lasers give you standard laser ranges, but with pulse capability. So now I know how clan players have felt all along with their large pulse lasers, and it is brutal, man.
Yeah. And theirs still do more damage.
Mm-hmm. The only
Players
downside
cheat.
is this guy is experimental.
Yeah. I mean, by 3100, all the tech in him is standard, I think, so.
True. So this guy was seen in 3062 and has a battle value of 1325 and a point value of 34. We then come to the 4L seen in 3066, the first Liao version, I believe.
Yeah, so far.
Mm-hmm.
Not that they haven't been using him, but...
True. And this is the first one I have that has the Project Phoenix art, which is very cool, but it's also very different.
I adore this art.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer it over the Kickstarter art, if we're being
Ooh.
honest.
Fair enough. So I also really like this art, but I think I like the Kickstarter redesign a little bit more. The things that pop out to me on this design is the first and foremost, the like high-tech mirror helmet thing going on.
The Cobra Commander helmet.
Yeah, it looks like it's
Yeah.
from a sci-fi movie. And the second thing is they've taken those pylons and they've kind of flattened them and brought them against the mech. And
They've rotated them 90 degrees outwards.
yeah, you can still see the fins on the top, but the silhouette kind of looks like it's trying to mimic folded up wings to me almost, if that makes sense.
It definitely feels much more like a jump pack, which is one reason I like it. Like, this Phoenix Hawk feels like it can just leap off the ground and jet into the air like a 45-ton Iron Man.
Yeah. I also like the fact that it's got the medium lasers on the inside of its arm, kind of, like...
Assassin's Creed style.
Yeah, or, just like a holdout weapon. I was kind of thinking Taxi Driver.
My name is Ezio. Ezio Auditore.
I'm just a terrible film snob, so, I think Taxi Driver.
If you took the Kickstarter art and you put the feet from the Phoenix, Project Phoenix art for the Phoenix Hawk, tongue twister there, and you took the jetpack from it and put it on the body of the Kickstarter art, I think I would like that. Because I like that these feet don't have heels. Stupid. Doesn't make any sense. The physics don't work. Not that they work normally, but they work even less.
See, no, they do have a heel, but it is very small and very unpronounced, and it looks kind of almost like a pin sticking out the back. It's all forward toe.
Yeah, but with it being such a lower heel, it can easily sink in and then spread out its weight on that full foot.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, I mean, you look at the normal Phoenix Hawk art or the Kickstarter art or any of the other art, it's got this weird high heel thing from like Metal Gear Solid.
Which is interesting because the original TRO 3025 Phoenix Hawk does not have a big heel. It has a much more along the lines of the Project Phoenix art foot.
Yeah, I really don't know where that came from.
One of the things I really like about all of the Kickstarter art is they've made it look much more industrial. They've made it look much more functional.
Mm-hmm.
For me, the Phoenix Hawk Project Phoenix art has already done that.
That's fair.
Everything looks like it would function properly.
Yeah.
So I'm already there. It's more industrial. It's less hard-edged than the Kickstarter art, which I think is one reason why I like it a little bit more. And then it's got the cool features like that Cobra Commander helmet, that big, bulky jet jump pack backpack thing that just looks like it's going to soar through the air.
Yeah.
The new art looks good. I think the Project Phoenix art looks more flexible, more dynamic, more agile. I love it. I love the Project Phoenix art for the
It's
Phoenix
great
Hawk.
art. I mean, the only thing I can say is the only part of the Project Phoenix art that doesn't look industrial to me is the helmet,
Yeah.
Yes, but it looks high-tech rather than industrial, which I have no problem with.
Fair.
Yeah, and it's a Phoenix Hawk. It tends to be pretty high
Yeah,
tech.
exactly. So the actual weapons loadout for this guy is it has a Guardian ECM in the right torso. It has a ER large laser, an ER medium laser, and a machine gun in the right arm. And it's got an ER medium laser and a machine gun in the left arm. It has 11 double heat sinks. It's got endo steel and stealth armor.
It's got the machine guns back.
And it's also got half a ton of machine gun ammo in the center torso. Hope you enjoy blowing up.
Floating crits. Floating crits. Always play with floating crits.
Wolfnet, that's been an ongoing debate because one time we blew someone's leg off, like fresh mech, like turn 2, we blew his leg off with a floating crit, which is like 3 12s in a row or something stupid, but it's been debated.
I mean, you could say, what happens when you get 3 12s in a row with standard crit rules?
Bad things.
I mean, that's 3 criticals to the engine. You're down anyway.
I think so? I don't know.
So at least, and this is why I say I always believe in floating crits. Yes, he lost his leg, but odds are he would have lost the entire mech under standard rules because that would have been a center torso crit with a 12, so that would have been 3 critical chances. That just wrecks the center torso. You probably lose your engine. The mech's probably out of the fight completely. At least now you can still hop around one-legged or prop yourself up and shoot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, it's definitely one of those subjects where you have an opinion and you fall on one side or the other, right?
Mm-hmm. The group I learned to play with favored floating crits, and when I've played without floating crits, and you start getting people running LB20Xs, and they're shooting cluster so that they can get that golden BB to the center torso and try to knock you out with the engine hits because it's always going to be on the center torso. That just feels super gamey, and I do not care for it.
Which is fair.
Yeah, and the thing I have to remember is before we switched off of floating crits, we didn't use edge at all. And now that we have edge as a standard mechanic in Wolfnet, floating crits are a lot less deadly.
Going back to the Phoenix Hawk 4L, I like it. There's, again, the only problem it has, in my opinion, is all its weapons are on the arm, which in a video game means you have poor fields of fire, but it's got ECM. I love ECM. It's got 2 machine guns, so it can deal with infantry. This just feels like it's going back to that Phoenix Hawk 1's multi-purpose role, but
absolutely
better, because it's, or Phoenix Hawk 2, like this, or the 1B. Like this Phoenix Hawk is so versatile. I love it.
It goes back to what the core of the Phoenix Hawk is. Is that a good way to put it?
Yeah. And going back to how the Phoenix Hawk 1 is a great kind of intermediate baseline for what a lighter end medium should look like. This guy's got that same 2 damage at short and medium, has 1 damage at long, which is an improvement. Same 4/4 armor structure as the original, but now it's got ECM and stealth, making it more survivable, making it a little bit more versatile to shut down enemy C3 networks.
Yeah, like the ECM and stealth just is great together. Peanut butter and jelly, right?
You have to have ECM to have stealth.
Yeah, it's not a lot of damage for Alpha Strike because it's only 2 points, but it's more of a utility mech, and it's a hard-to-hit mech. So I'm normally not a fan of anything Liao, but this Phoenix Hawk is pretty solid.
Now, the Phoenix Hawks from Project Phoenix do get the design quirk of having the full head ejection system as well.
Oh, even better. Project Phoenix for the win.
And, of course, it has a movement profile of 696. I'm not sure if we actually mentioned that at the beginning of this long discussion about this beautiful machine.
I guess you could say that the Phoenix Hawk did really well with Project Phoenix. Coincidence? I think not.
Collusion!
Did we mention in the last episode that the Phoenix Hawk is a 45-ton medium mech?
We did.
Yes.
Okay.
It is, in fact, not a assault mech.
Yeah.
It's assault battle armor, if you're a Lyran.
Yeah.
This guy's got a battle value of 1282 and a point value of 35. We then come to the first one that makes us sad in naming convention, the 3PL. It's got a movement profile of 696. It's got 2 ER small lasers in the right torso, a targeting computer in the left torso, a large pulse laser in the right arm, and 2 medium pulse lasers in the left arm. It's got 12 double heat sinks, an XL engine, endo steel, and pretty standard armor, a little lighter than some of its compatriots, but yeah, this is not bad. I like the targeting computer.
It's got better armor than a lot of the old models, and it's 9 tons instead of 8. And I'm honestly, I would be sad about we're going backwards a number except the PL obviously stands for pulse laser. This guy's loaded with pulse lasers and targeting computers. He's got so much effective firepower.
Yeah, his pulse lasers pulse better than most pulse lasers.
Tis true.
Yo, dog, I heard you like pulses, so I pulsed your pulse lasers so they can pulse laser while they pulse laser.
It did not occur to me that PL stands for pulse laser.
I mean, he's getting a -3 anytime he shoots at something, except with the ER smalls.
Mm-hmm.
The ER smalls match up perfectly with the medium pulse lasers for their range brackets too, so I just bookmarked this Phoenix Hawk. You heard it here first, folks. I now have 3 bookmarked Phoenix Hawks.
There you go.
Phoenix.
This guy also has the Project Phoenix art. Nice to see still.
Yeah, it's different art too, which we don't always see with different variants.
Because the arms are correct. It has the 2 barrels on the left arm for the 2 medium pulses, and then the 1 large pulse laser is overslung on the outside of the forearm.
Yep, and those 2 medium pulse are still in that hidden wrist weapon position, which is cool.
Go gadget pulse laser.
So this guy was seen in 3067, and it's got a battle value of 1244 and a point value of 34. And this guy definitely feels like it wants to get in nice and close and just shred things. This is I think, a good hunter-killer heavy part of a scout lance, you know?
Yeah.
Kills things dead.
The only thing that could make him a little bit better would be if he had some sort of movement boost, like Mask or TSM or something, to let him go a little bit faster than 6'9", so he can catch those scouts.
Those pesky locuses.
Because, of course, the pulses don't have quite a long range, but they're very good when you get in nice and close. So next up, we have the 6D, also seen in 3067, and this guy has the movement profile of 696. It's got 2 ER medium lasers in the center torso. It's got a targeting computer in the right torso. It's got an ER PPC in the right arm, and it's got 2 ER medium lasers in the left arm.
And this is the one whose nomenclature makes us sad, because we have not had a Phoenix Hawk 5 yet.
It's got 12 double heat sinks, an XL engine, and endo steel. I do like the little 2 ports have now moved from the right torso in the previous model down to like right at the top of where your 6-pack would be.
He's got ab lasers.
Yeah, he's just starting to go to the gym. In a couple more months, he'll have another 4 below it once the 6-pack really comes in.
That's going to get kind of low there. It might look a little suggestive.
Mackie, is this you?
This guy, he's not quite got the same level of consistent firepower because he's runs a little bit warmer thanks to the ERPPC, but he's got quite a bit longer reach and a little bit more stopping power than the pulse laser one.
Yeah, that ERPPC has some nice poke power.
Yeah, I think it's another solid Phoenix Hawk.
I'm a little disappointed it didn't debut in 3060.
Why is that?
What?
Because the 6D needs to debut in 3060. Just be consistent here, guys.
My main problem with this 6D is it's Federated Suns and Federated Commonwealth only. So as a mercenary who plays strictly by MUL availability, I'm not going to get access to this preeminent Phoenix Hawk sniper.
That is unfortunate, but there's always the chance of salvage, right?
Yes.
Fedcom, I hardly knew ye.
So this guy's got a battle value of 1665. Bit of a jump there, but I think we can see why with the stats it's got. And it's got a point value of 33. We then come to the 7CS, seen also in 67. This guy's got a movement profile of 695. It's got an improved C3 in the right torso. It's got an INARC in the left torso. It has an ER large laser in the right arm and 2 ER medium lasers in the left arm.
For the fans out there, an INARC is just an improved NARC. I don't think we've actually talked about NARCs and how they function before.
Just in the general.
Yeah. Basically, NARC launchers fire a little missile that instead of having a payload or a warhead has an electronic suite and a radio antenna, basically. And you try to hit the target with the NARC beacon, and once that beacon is on it and active, it allows long-range missiles to home in more accurately.
So just a little tiny homing beacon that you're shooting at your enemy.
You tell him, dog.
Papa agrees.
Fun fact, even though it's not supposed to have an explosive, you can actually give it explosive warheads because everything must boom.
If you're playing MechWarrior Online, throwing a NARC beacon in a scout is a great idea because in that game, NARC will actually shut down the ECM of a unit if you tag that unit with your Narc beacon.
Oh, good to know. So this guy's got 10 double heat sinks, it's got the XL engine, and it has endo steel to help pay for all that weight. And it has a battle value of 1281 and a point value of 31. We then come to the 7S, also seen in 67. Busy year for the Phoenix Hawk that year.
Business was a booming.
It's got a movement profile of 696, but it can also go 12 when it has its mask active. It's got a small laser in the head. It's got a medium laser in the right torso. It's got a medium laser in the left torso, a large pulse laser in the right arm, and 2 medium lasers in the left arm. It's got 10 double heat sinks and a light engine and ferro to help pay for that weight. And also endo steel.
Yeah, I really like having that mask back.
Going 12 when you're 45 is nice.
Yeah, again, this feels very much like a scout killer. Large pulse laser. I think we're just getting back to what the 3S was, right? It's just
pretty much
just better.
A little bit more modern. Yeah, not much to say there, really. I think.
Yeah, it can get a little toasty, but I mean, as long as you're being careful, or if you really need to push something to die for one turn, it should be okay. But, I think this is a very solid Phoenix Hawk. Definitely part of a scout hunter-killer lance.
Don't continuously alpha strike. That's a bad idea. You will die.
Very bad idea.
Or continuously use your mask. Like this is a very cerebral Phoenix Hawk.
You definitely want to give your mask a break every few turns, because otherwise you're just tempting fate of it breaking.
Still Project Phoenix art.
Yeah.
Still accurate to the loadout.
I like how they tucked the small laser into like the cheek. I think it's a nice little touch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is cute.
Almost makes it look like he's got some sort of headset mic.
Yeah, like a little comm set.
I know, right?
So this guy's got a battle value of 1496 and a point value of 40. We then come to the 4L Sente in 3068. This guy is got a movement profile of 696. It has a tag in the center torso. It has a Guardian ECM in the right torso. It's got a ER large laser clan, ER medium laser, and machine gun in the right arm, and then it has an ER medium laser and machine gun in the left arm. So of course this is experimental mixed tech. It's got 11 double heat sinks, it's got endo steel, and it's got stealth armor.
I mean, it's a 3L, basically, and then it has a tag.
Yep.
And a clan large laser.
Which lets, it's, like, I don't have anything to say about it. It's, the tag makes you better at spotting for friendly missiles, and the clan ER large laser is PPC damage out to extreme range.
Yep.
The best range.
'Tis very good. And of course this is a special bit of kit because of who the pilot is associated with, which we will cover in our pilot profiles.
Oh, I just want to point out that its targeting system is produced by Apple, so it's probably impossible to find aftermarket parts for this mech.
Is it actually?
That's what Mech Factory says. It's the Apple Churchill 2000 targeting system.
That's hilarious. So this guy's got a battle value of 1442 and a point value of 36. We then come to the 5L in 3069, and this gets some new art, which is interesting, because it's got hex grid all over it, and its head now is kind of, like almost like an astronaut helmet. It's just got a giant dome on the front. Still keeps the Project Phoenix backpack, though, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I think the hex grid's supposed to be the stealth armor.
Yeah.
Especially on the crotch there. That's especially where you need it.
I wouldn't want that bit to get shot off.
Not the shins. Not those.
No.
Yeah, the fact that it doesn't cover everywhere is kind of silly. I like that the fact that the author or the artist tried to, it's Matt Plog, it looks like, tried to take the Phoenix Hawk art, or the Phoenix Project Phoenix art, and make it more dynamic. Because this thing is riding a jet of flame, and the head's actually turned.
Yeah, this thing is clearly mid-jump.
Yeah, and the head's actually rotated and looking down where it's firing, which is sweet. But the hexes are just, like, it's weird. Say again?
Oh, so it's not actually a different canopy. That makes more sense now. I was trying to figure out what the heck that head was. But no, it's just looking at you.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Okay, yeah, no, okay, yeah. I didn't realize that perspective. Okay.
It's actually just Project Phoenix art, but given a dynamic pose and some weird hexagonal sections, which is the only part where it really falls down for me, is those hexagonal bits.
Well, we now have confirmation that at least the Project Phoenix can move its head.
Yeah.
So this guy's got a movement profile of 695, a Guardian ECM in the left torso, a ER medium laser in the right arm, as well as a plasma rifle. Then it has a ER medium laser in the left arm. It's got 10 double heat sinks, endo steel, and stealth armor. And I think this is pretty sweet. I mean, the plasma rifle seems real good, because that'll roast vehicles or any infantry real good. It's stealthy.
Yeah, I really like the addition of the plasma rifle. It changes it from being like a heavy scout or like scout mech killer to a very good harasser. So even if it's over its head, as long as it can keep moving and just keep pegging people with the plasma rifle, you know, they're just going to have to pay attention to him because he's going to eventually heat them up if they want to do anything else.
And you can easily handle your heat by dropping a medium laser or two if you need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I actually really like that jumping movement of 5 rather than 6.
Just saving 1 ton on that jump jet?
Half ton, but...
Or half ton, right, yes.
Like I mentioned it in the last episode, when you're playing the video games, you don't need a lot of jump most of the time. When you're playing Alpha Strike, you don't need as much jump a lot of time. Playing Classic Battletech is where you want to have 5 or 7 jump, and this guy's got 5. That 6 is really in no man's land where you're not quite to 7, but you're more than 5. So it's a little optimization there, in my opinion.
So this guy's got a battle value of 1530 and a point value of 34. We then jump to the 7K, which is a bit of a jump considering the last K model we saw was the 3. It also keeps the Project Phoenix art with the hex grid, which is a little interesting because it does not have stealth armor. It has light ferro, as well as endo steel and a light engine to help pay for the weapon loadout of a C3 slave, a snub-nosed PPC in the right arm, and a ER medium laser in the left arm. It's got a movement profile of 699, so this guy can really jump.
So would it surprise either of you to find out that this is the last Phoenix Hawk that I have bookmarked?
Oh no, the snub-nosed PPC and a jump of 9? What are the odds?
With a C3 slave?
Yeah.
I would have never have assumed.
Yeah.
But I can see why. This is a great machine.
Yeah, and I think it probably just has the hex grid art because it looks like it's from Battle Core, and its record sheet is in the 3085 record sheets, so they're probably just keeping the TRO 3085 art.
Yeah, but all in all, a great machine. I think it's absolutely fantastic.
Great little scout for a C3 Lance.
So this guy's got a battle value of 1241 and a point value of 28, and it came out in 3070. And then 9 years later, we get the 4W in 3079.
Why are we going back to 4?
Because they don't like you.
I mean, that's fair, I guess.
Yes, it's absolutely personal.
They're like, Joshua, he's going to hate this. We got to do it.
Yeah. Which is surprising because you might not actually hate this. It's got a movement profile of 588. It's got a Guardian ECM in the right torso. It's got a ER medium laser and light PPC in the right arm. And then it's got the same in the left arm. It's got 10 double heat sinks, endo steel, heavy duty gyro, light engine, and of course the improved jump jets so it can get all the way up to a movement of 8 jumping.
Yeah, 588 is sweet. It's a little bit slower on the ground than the previous models, but 5.8 is where you want to be at with a 55-ton mech or a 50-ton mech. So this guy's a little light for that movement profile. If you're playing Classic, you're just going to be jumping 7 or 8 anyway, so it doesn't really matter. 2 light PPCs, 2 ER medium lasers. It's honestly kind of pathetic.
It's real good poke damage, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, this feels like a bait mech.
Yeah, another, if you're playing Battle Force, another skirmisher to screen your main formation with the ECM.
Yeah, something just to people off and be like, okay, I gotta hunt this mech down because it's been shooting at me for the past hour. And then, all of a sudden, they run into like 4 Atlases. Well, guess I'm dead.
And I think it's one of those issues where when you read about light PPCs being used in the fiction, they feel much more powerful than 5 points of damage.
Yes, that is something I have observed while reading as well. But then again, PPCs also are like, oh, it's a PPC, like because it's got the crackle of the electricity discharging over your machine and all of that.
Yeah, I really feel like if BattleTech were ever to get a second edition, rebalancing some of these PPCs would be a really good move.
Mm-hmm.
The AC-10 up to 12 points of damage.
Could totally give the light PPC 7 points of damage and make it just a Inner Sphere Clan ER medium.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Make the standard PPC like 12. ER PPC stays at 15.
Yeah.
Light PPC 7. Yeah. Just a little bit of tweaking to make the game feel a bit more like the novels.
That's fair. So this 4W's got a battle value of 1394 and a point value of 29. We then come to the 8CS, seen in 3080. This guy's got the traditional Project Phoenix art, and it's got a movement profile of 711-6. It's got a C3 slave in the head, it's got a Guardian ECM in the right arm, and a Snubnose PPC in the right arm, as well as a Snubnose PPC in the left arm. It's got 14 double heat sinks and a double XL engine and endo steel, as well as an XL gyro.
For all of you Razelhog Dominion, Draconis Combine, and former Republic of the Sphere players, this is a great mech.
Rip in peace, Republic of the Sphere.
I mean, the double stub nose is nice to see.
Oh, double snub nose.
And it can handle that heat quite well. It's got a reasonable movement profile. It's a little too bad that it can't quite get the jump up to 7, but, still a good machine.
Yeah.
The XXL and XL gyro are very sore points on this one for me. That's a lot of breakable bits.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's also why it's experimental.
Yeah.
It's also Comstar mech. At a time when Comstar's technically not supposed to be
making mechs. Yeah. This guy's got a battle value of 1442 and a point value of 37. We then come to the 4M in 3087. This guy's got a light PPC and a medium X pulse laser in the left arm, and then the same in the right arm, and 2 small X pulse lasers in the center torso. It's got a movement profile of 696, and it has 12 double heat sinks. And to help pay for all that weight, it's got endo steel and a light engine.
Why are we going back to 4?
I'm not sure. Oh, wait, did we already do this one?
No.
No, that was 3M. Never mind.
Yeah.
You're messing me up, man.
It's like, why is the number going back to 4?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the Free Worlds League advancing their model by 1 number.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't like the use of X-pulse lasers, but that's just because I have issues with them. I'd much rather see re-engineered lasers, but that's because I like them, and they're like a pet project for me. I want to see them do well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just... Okay.
It's a very good scout mech,
Yeah, it scout real good.
Yeah, like the light PPCs are quite good at reaching out and hitting scout mechs that are trying to get away. So, and 5 will, if not burn off all the armor, will hurt a light mech, especially a 20-tonner.
They don't even have armor. I don't know what you're talking about.
So we come next to the Phoenix Hawk C2, seen in 3140, so a bit of a time jump there. It's got a movement profile of 696, but it can go 12 when its supercharger is active. It has a medium pulse laser and an AP Gauss rifle in the left arm. It's got a large pulse laser and a medium pulse laser in the right arm, as well as an AP Gauss rifle, and the targeting computer in the right torso. The pulse lasers and the targeting computer are clan, because this is a mixed tech machine. It's got 12 double heat sinks, endo steel, an XL engine.
An Inner Sphere XL engine.
Yes.
Let's just emphasize that.
It's also got new art.
Yes. Yeah, the C2 is from the recognition guide.
Now, it's interesting to me, on the record sheet, it shows the AP Gauss rifle not listed as clan, because it's not in bracket clan, but the ammo is listed as clan. So I'm going to assume that it is also a clan weapon.
Yeah, AP Gauss is clan.
The Inner Sphere doesn't have AP Gauss.
Did not realize the Inner Sphere didn't have those yet.
They have their own version called the Mag Shot, which they don't use nearly as much as the clans do.
Right. Mag shot.
Because the clans just pump out AP Gauss and just throw it on everything, where the Inner Sphere kind of made the mag shot and it stuck around for a little bit, but it's been kind of replaced by a bunch of different variants that all do the same thing, but tend to not get put on mechs. Not when you could just buy AP Gauss from clans for real cheap.
Yeah. And clans have basically replaced all of their machine guns with AP Gauss, which is why you see so many of them.
It totally makes sense considering they have elementals jumping around everywhere, right?
Yeah. And that's battle armors where you generally see the Inner Sphere version of AP Gauss or machine gun Gauss rifles.
No, but this is a sweet upgrade for the Phoenix Hawk C. I like it. I think it's great. It does what it says on the side of the tin, right?
Yeah, this thing will murder everything.
I mean, we talked about the, was it the 4L or no, the 3PL with the targeting computer and all the pulse lasers. This Phoenix Hawk C2, in my mind, is not an upgrade of the Phoenix Hawk C. It is a clan version of the 3PL.
That makes sense, actually.
I see
because it's got the same it's got two medium pulse lasers, just like the 3PL. It's got a large pulse laser, just like the 3PL. And then instead of two ER small lasers, it has two AP Gauss rifles.
Yeah.
And then it has just like the 3PL, it has a targeting computer to make all of that pulse even more accurate. It's got the same movement profile, except it gets the mask, which we've talked about what a big deal putting mask on these guys is, because it lets them move like a light.
This one has supercharger, but yeah.
Or, sorry, this one has a supercharger, not a mask.
Same song and dance, just different critical hit when you fail your roll.
Yes.
So yeah, this is not an upgrade of this Phoenix Hawk C. This is a clan version of the 3PL. And is this available to mercs? Because I will totally get a C2.
Let me look.
Because this is...
My guess is yes, just because I think it's built by CFox.
I mean, it does say ubiquitous.
According to Master Unit List, it is available from the 3130s to the 3150 in the stable of Clan Hellhorse, Clan Jade Falcon, and Clan Wolf.
Ah, no.
God dang clans.
So hopefully during the L clan, right?
Yeah, we don't need this anymore. It's not fully clan.
We can talk about it more later, but reading in Hour of the Wolf, they definitely sounded like they had an emphasis on speed. They're always talking about how fast the new mechs are. And I think this C2 would probably, with that supercharger, would count.
I would agree.
But I have no problem fighting Clan Wolf or Falcon, Jade Falcon right now, because I'm kind of pissed at both of them. So we'll just have to take some of these as Isorla.
Yeah. So this guy's got a battle value of 2187 and a point value of 43. So quite a bit of a jump with that nice tech in there. We then come to the last model of the Phoenix Hawks we have with the most recent recognition guide that had them. The 9 in 3140 as well. This guy's got a movement profile of 698. It's got a medium laser and a light machine gun in the left arm. It's got a large X pulse laser, a medium laser, and a light machine gun in the right arm. It has 11 double heat sinks, an XL engine, and endo steel. And of course the improved jump jets to help get moving.
The craziest thing I see about this is the medium lasers. Just bog standard 3025 medium lasers.
Hey man, it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Well, I mean, with the medium lasers and the large X pulse laser and running, you are completely heat neutral, so that's not terrible design.
Jump 8, it's one more than you need. You need 7 for classic Battletech, but it's not going full improved jump jets, so you're saving a ton, so that's nice. I like it has the design quirk improved communications, so I think that I'm not sure exactly what that does, but the fact that it has it as a scout mech is probably good.
Yep. One thing I don't like is it has the ammo in the center torso. One thing I do like is it has case 2 to protect it.
Yeah, the ammo might be in the center torso, but you're a lot less likely to just die.
Yeah. And again, floating crits, realism, center torso is the most protected location. So yeah, I get it from just straight classic Battletech. 2 is always center torso through armor crit. It's bad, but realistically, that's probably the best place for it, especially with case 2, and it's only a half ton of machine gun ammo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's with this light machine gun I'm seeing listed.
It is
here.
a machine gun with more range.
No. On the entry, it doesn't just say light machine gun. The first one is a light machine gun. The second one is a light machine gun and then a Japanese word. Am I the only one?
My record sheet doesn't have that.
Not the record sheet, the TRO entry.
Oh, sorry, let me pull that up real quick.
I'm scrolling real fast. Oh, so that is a typo. That's from the Horndal. That's one of the variants of the Horndal. That is the Japanese word for some variant of fish owl, if I remember correctly.
Okay, interesting.
I just saw that. I was like, what's a light machine gun? Shimafukuro?
Yeah.
Shimafukuro?
It's the name of a Kurita version of the Horndal, and even though it's got a name attached to it, it's not a named version because that's just what they call it. Kind of like how the Daishi is the Direwolf, or Yeah, it's just a typo.
Gotcha. Okay.
Random place for it, but okay.
Yeah, that's a really random place for it.
It's product placement, man.
Yeah.
The Koreans really want you to buy it.
Is that Uncle Chandy's work?
It's the ghost of Uncle Chandy.
Yep. I'm sorry.
I do like this. This has a large X-Pulse laser. Again, X-Pulse is amazing, except for its heat.
Yeah.
But it finally lets us inner sphere types have a pulse laser that has the range or similar range to a clan pulse laser. So that's really good.
Yeah, so the 9 has a battle value of 1244 and a PV of 30.
So Brent, you said the Phoenix Hawk 9 is the last one we're talking about, and it came out in 3140. What about the Phoenix Hawk L in 3116? Are we not talking about that tonight?
Oh, so that's a different mech. That's a lighter version. That's a light mech.
Yes, that one's 35 tons. And it's got like a weird arm missile launcher thingy as opposed to an actual arm.
Yeah, I just was wondering if there's only 2, and it's technically a PXH. So it is a Phoenix Hawk.
That is true. But I think they will probably get their own episodes, or they will be combined with the Phoenix Hawk 2Cs that we did not get a chance to talk about.
All right.
But that's some good foreshadowing for later.
Yeah, geez, that thing came all the way out in 3101.
Yeah. It is an interesting little machine.
10 tons lighter.
It's adorable. Just want to pat it on its little head.
So for our pilot profiles today, we are going to start off by throwing over to Chandler.
All right, so our first pilot profile for this episode is Adept 7 Epsilon Alice Polesworths. There's a lot of S's in that. Commanding a Recon Level 2 in the 78th Division at Tukid, Adept Polesworths repeatedly put herself in the line of fire to tag Steel Viper's units with her narc beacon. She would focus on the heaviest mechs in the formations, and she is credited with over a dozen kills and kill assists, including Star Colonel Matheson Buchanan of the 94th Battle Cluster. Although her mech was destroyed, she was counted among the few survivors of the Devil's Bath and went on to command a level 3 in the 31st Division. She of course retains a special hatred for the clans and the Vipers in particular, as virtually all of her comrades in the 6th Division died at their hands. She would be happy to know that the Vipers don't exist anymore.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to leave some resentment, right?
Just a little, a touch.
But who likes the clans?
The clans like the clans, except for when they don't.
So next up we have Noyan Chungjun Ji Min, and they assumed command of the Shenzi Tan, aka, because I'm going to not try and pronounce any of that again, the Dark Days Band, a pirate organization after the Jihad. Under their leadership, the group restructured and were able to regain their footing and became a much larger threat. After that, we have Captain Krem Jickelston. Captain Krem of the Black Warriors received a Phoenix Hawk 4L directly off the line, courtesy of the Word of Blake. Krem commands the Recon Company, and he and his company used the advanced stealth tech and other technological edges they had to combat the Myrian Hegemony when they invaded the Circanus Federation. After a time of night operations and supply raids, they were able to stop the invasion operation. When the Black Warriors left the Federation, Captain Krem and his company disappeared with their dropship and an archaic merchant jump ship. Rumor is that they have set up operations in the Rimworld collections as the Shadow Warriors, a pirate group.
Gosh dang pirates.
Tired
of these Monday through Friday pirates in this dang inner sphere.
Well, budding mercenary units need something to cut their teeth on.
It's true.
Cut their teeth
on. I mean, D&D has all the gremlins and goblins, right?
Kobolds.
Yeah. Kobolds.
That's what we need, a merc group called the Kobolds.
Next up, we have Christine Chris Sante. Chris was born to a minor industrial family on Terra. When the Word of Blake captured Terra, she emigrated into the Federated Sons section of the Federated Commonwealth and joined the AFFS, just in time for the FedCom Civil War to start. Her deployment ended halfway through the confrontation, and instead of re-enlisting, as at this point she was repulsed by the conduct of both militaries, she set her sights on Solaris 7 and made her way there. There she used her skills and technical know-how to work for the stables as a technician, and sabotage and conduct surveillance for the Yakuza. It was her connections with the Yakuza that brought her to the attention of the bounty hunter, and since then she has joined his troop of operatives and support staff.
We should do a deep dive on the bounty hunter at some point.
Absolutely.
I don't know. He doesn't seem that important.
Totally not Boba Fett in a battle mech.
Remember, no disintegration.
After that, we have Kashira Alexander Rankin and Kashira Susan Teal. These two DCMS mech warriors died in Hahiro City during the Blakist nuclear strikes on Altair. They both came from warrior families with long and distinguished histories in the Draconis Combine. Susan Teal's Phoenix Hawk was the family Phoenix Hawk, and it had been produced sometime during the First Succession War and had seen hundreds of actions through the generations of the Teal family.
Probably at this point there is not an original part left, right?
Yeah.
Phoenix Hawk of Theseus.
I mean, I would expect some part in the center torso.
Like maybe one support strut?
Yeah, there's something in there. Alexander Rankin's family were a dispossessed warrior family, but his family had managed to capture a Steiner Phoenix Hawk early in the 31st century. They're notable because when the nuclear strike landed, they were guarding a civilian shelter that housed a large number of civilians, of people who were trying to avoid dying in the Blakist nuclear strikes. And apparently a large number of them did, because the survivors of the nuclear strikes got together and purchased life-size steel replicas of the two Phoenix Hawks that had stood guard over the nuclear shelter during the Word of Blake's strike.
I think that's a touching monument.
Yeah, those
Definitely.
two warriors will live on forever.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have another Draconis Combine warrior. Got a lot of Drax and Phoenix Hawks. Shosa Christian Chichutek. Chichutek is a member of the Genyosha. His great-grandfather was a founding member of the Genyosha, and everyone in his family has served in, or every person between him and his grandfather has served in the Genyosha. He basically distinguished himself during heavy fighting along the Davian front in a Phoenix Hawk 2K, and he's actually, bizarrely enough, good friends with Commandant Jens Mundler of the 5th Lyran Guard. They met during the Republic era and helped repulse a terrorist attack, saving each other's life.
That'll definitely form a bond.
Yeah, saving each other's life is a big deal in any situation, but especially for warriors. Unfortunately, now that the Lyrans and Drax are no longer kind of friends,
In such good standing?
yeah, he's come under scrutiny from the ISF. So hopefully internal politics don't cause him to lose his life.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little weird that they don't get along. I mean, they don't really share a border anymore.
Yeah, ancient hatreds, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, they do share a very small section of their border. Or, no, I guess they don't, because the Ghost Bears have taken up that now, haven't they?
Yeah, the Ghost Bears have pushed all the way to the Fortress Republic.
Yeah. We really need to have, like, a proper update map come out.
Yeah, after the Ill Clan source book and all that.
Yeah, 3151 map would be nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so next up we have Star Captain Samuel Snell, who is a Scorpion Empire seeker. His specialty is battle mechs, and he is a veritable walking technical readout. For those who do not know, the Scorpion Empire is the successor to the Scorpio Imperio, which is the successor or the state founded by the remnants of Clan Goliath Scorpion after they were abjured from the clan homeworlds. So they live out in the deep periphery. He is familiar with the production variants of virtually every single battlemech that was ever fielded by the Starleague Defense Force, down even to the local factory variations of the same base model. So, like, he can look at a, 1BC or 1B special and be like, yeah, that one was produced over in Lyran's space for some reason, because they put they welded this backwards instead of forwards, some sort of very mild difference.
Sounds like a real neckbeard.
Yeah.
And I thought we were Battletech nerds.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Despite his blood name, he does still pilot an ancient Phoenix Ox C, which is the first one off of the production lines, rather than an Omni-mech. He used this mech to great effect during the Scorpio Imperio's invasion of the Hanseatic League, where he took part of a very strange collecting action, where his archaic machine herded even more ancient Phoenix Ox that he battled into captivity. So... obviously, he has a thing about Phoenix Ox, and he's going to have a museum. He's going to have every single variant. He's going to have them all lined up.
He's going to catch them all.
He's like us with our models. He's going to paint them all perfectly.
I see the Scorpion Empire has not lost its collecting habits from being the Goliath Scorpions.
Oh, they've gotten even weirder.
I think they doubled down on it.
Mm-hmm.
I really hope we get some novels and stuff about them.
Yeah. Even if they're an antagonist.
We had the Action Point, or whatever that series is, where it's random,
Turning
like little
Point?
flashpoint, turning point, flashpoint, where they invaded the Hanseatic League, which was interesting and really nice to read. But I want more, man. I need to know about my kleptomaniac druggy out Goliath Scorpions. I need to know, man.
And we can't blame you for that.
For some reason, I feel like if there was a group in Battletech who was most likely to become weird Jedi monks, it would be Goliath Scorpions, even before Spirit Cats.
I don't know.
I'd give them even odds.
I don't see the Jedi doing drugs. Like the Nova Cats do the whole spirit walk thing even without drugs. And they have a whole cast around visions and everything.
You haven't hung out with the right Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the Goliath Scorpions just do drugs.
These guys feel like they feel like they're out there doing really weird stuff that's going to lead to something like that.
That's true.
Whereas the Spirit Cats feel like they're just kind of the mystic guys who are just doing their mystic thing and don't really progress.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, next up we have Lieutenant Jane Dixon. The story of Jane Dixon is a sad story, to be sure. Jane received a S7 and was promoted to lieutenant and assigned to the 17th Donegal Guard. When the 17th invaded Shilho, Jane's lance was ordered to scout the enemy position. Her lance was all destroyed but her, and she trailed the ambushers into her force's lines, where the Lyrans were utterly destroyed. This wanton destruction pushed Jane into a frenzy where she launched herself with an already damaged machine into the Free World League militia forces, taking down 3 before she was downed herself. For the remainder of the jihad, she was in a Word of Blake POW camp, where she, as the highest ranking remaining officer, became a de facto leader. She and the remaining Lyran survivors were starved and brainwashed. The remainder of Jane's life was spent wandering the care facility, muttering about the eventual triumph of the Word of Blake. So, like I said, a sad story.
Yeah, that's really rough.
Man, the Blakists. Given all the Comstar bad
Yep.
name.
The only faction worse than the clans.
The objectively, we are the bad guys.
We are the bad guys, and we are going to prove it.
Mm-hmm. Now, for our Battletech talk today, we are going to continue to talk about the Hour of the Wolf, and like the last episode, we are going to go right up into the fall of the Republic. One thing that we did not mention last time that I wanted to mention this time was it was great to see our favorite tank team take down not 1 but 2 paladins. I thought that was absolutely great.
God, it makes me want to pilot a Trebaruna.
Yes. Carnivore. No, Fratricide.
Yeah. They are in a carnivore.
Yeah, they're the Carnivore tank Fratricide. I love that name.
Carnivore or fratricide?
And those two are hilarious. Fratricide.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the fact that it seems to happen that they take somebody out and then someone tells them, do you know who that was? And they're like, awesome!
Yeah, and the way they bargain for the honor of the kill when they capture Paladin Lakewood.
Yeah.
They're like, we get the credit for the kill. All right, well, I get to keep the mech warrior as a bondswoman. Fair.
Yeah.
2 paladins.
Yeah, I do like the second one. I think it was the second one they take out where they just ram right into it.
Oh yeah, when they kill the Trebaruna pilot
No, that was the first one.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first one.
and they just drive right over the cockpit.
Right, that was the first one, yes.
They're just like, yep, we're going right over.
Yeah, Alaric Ward's like, I've never seen a tank take out a pilot like that before.
I mean, who else is a mad
That was
lad enough
hilarious.
to do such a thing but someone who pilots a tank named Fratricide?
Mm-hmm. No, and of course, we see the Jade Falcons throw themselves into the meat grinder and just showing up piecemeal after they secure Mars, of course, because Alaric left that for them. I did like how... Well, okay, so I thought it was quite interesting how Alaric brought his fleet in opposition to like shield Terra after a certain amount of time of bombardment. Like that really felt like a political move, because if he was doing that out of altruism, he would have done that at the very beginning.
Oh yeah, he straight up says that I didn't do this because I wanted to protect Terra. I did this because I wanted to undermine Malvina.
Yeah, and shame her and the Falcons. Which I felt was quite interesting, and definitely a little bit of his mom seeping through, at least, measuring weight-wise,
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, that's definitely very calculated on his part.
Mm-hmm. Circling back to the Highlanders, I absolutely loved how Alaric dealt with one of the strongholds. He's just like, yeah, no, you're going to come out and fight me, or I have your countryside.
Yeah.
And as we touched about on the last episode, it made total sense and worked so well.
Yeah, so it made sense, but at the same time, I felt like it was a little bit of a stretch. Like, they are proud of their Scottish heritage, but they're not Scotsmen. They're Northwind Highlanders.
Mm-hmm.
So...
As someone from Scottish descent, I can tell you, people either take that not seriously at all or way too seriously. So it made sense for me.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't odd enough for me to not buy it. It was just kind of a, well, you're Northwind Highlanders, you're not Scottish Highlanders. But yeah, no, it was good.
Mm-hmm. And as we touched on last time, it was sad to see Tara be taken as a bondsman, but we will touch on that later, of course. I think you would be shocked if her story was over, right?
I would be, yes. I was thinking about it some more, and she needed some flaws in the Dark Ages that she didn't really have, but she was still likable, and I just Alaric.
I did also like how Alaric was like, no, I'm not taking your surrender. Like, you are not important, Devlin Stone. You are defeated. You don't get any sort, like, we're done. You're over.
Yeah.
I did like that.
You're a nobody.
It's all ogre now.
Mm-hmm. Because Devlin Stone is a quite interesting character to me, because we didn't see him really in any of the novels. We saw him a little bit in the source books, but we got a big impression of who he was with the vacuum that he left when he disappeared and how everything fell apart. And a lot of the characters, especially those inside the Republic, really put him on a pedestal, and I felt it was important for the Republic to die to see him brought low and fall apart, both literally and metaphorically, because of the bad cryogenics.
Yeah, I was really disappointed with Devlin Stone, because we do see him hyped so heavily during the Dark Ages, but we never actually get to see him in action. And now we get to see him in action, and it's really lackluster. Like, he's not a big deal, and so I felt kind of let down, and I didn't get to see Devlin Stone doing anything Devlin Stoney.
Yeah, that's fair. To me, it felt like he was still fighting the jihad. Like, he did not realize how the world had moved on, not only after he had stepped away, but in his waning years as the leader of the Republic. Like, he was just getting older. Like, people change, and he had been a leader for so long, and so therefore he is insulated from the rest of the world and has filters and the perspective. So having this mythical figure brought low, like I said, just felt really important to the narrative of the story to me.
I mean, he really felt like an old man who was, like you said, was kind of fighting the last war. My grandfather is elderly, and he often forgets what's going on. Like, he doesn't remember the last few decades all that well. Like, doesn't have Alzheimer's or anything, but his memory's not all there. And you see that with Devlin Stone, where he's still thinking of everything the way it was, and he can't seem to grasp that time has changed. People have changed.
Yeah.
Now, granted, Alaric is a little bit of an out-of-context problem for most people who are used to dealing with the clans, including other clanners.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
To say the least. I really enjoyed his, grasping for straws when he found out that the Davians weren't coming. What did you expect they were going to do? Did you not read any of your intelligence reports? Just because they owe you doesn't mean they're going to let their entire country fall apart just because you called in the favor. This isn't some mafia Don where it's like, well, I'll get to kill you either way. Either come help me and do something or die. It's no, this is my country that I need to rebuild.
They don't have their capital.
Yeah, they're stable, but barely, hair's breadth stable.
Yeah, they're on the ropes, but they still have their feet underneath them.
Yeah, but they're getting real close to rolling that, number to fail their gyro test.
Yeah, it was interesting to see Julian really want to at least send a token force to help.
Oh, yeah, which is completely in character with him, I feel. I feel he absolutely would send people as a token force to try and help, knowing full well that they're just going to get chewed up, because it would alleviate his conscience. And having his, I can't remember the character's name, but his advisor, lieutenant, just be like, no, this is a bad idea, don't.
Yeah, Groel Sandoval? Something Sandoval?
Yes, definitely a Sandoval.
Yeah, so other than Devlin Stone falling figuratively and realistically, what else were your big kind of takeaways from this? What did you think of the strategic discussion and progression?
I thought it was quite good. I was a little surprised that North America was not as much as a focus. I thought it would have been more of a focus. And I find it interesting that Alaric focused on, yes, we need to reestablish, we need Seattle and that area because Star League and that. But Malvina made, absolutely no inclination towards, she made the proclamations about doing the Star League, but didn't pick up any of the history, which kind of makes sense because she was burning everything down and starting fresh, but probably just keeping the name,
Yeah, well, and we just saw in the last data dive you did that Geneva, which is where she focused her efforts, was the capital of the Terran Hegemony. So it's got some history and significance too.
Oh, absolutely. Geneva and Seattle and the surrounding area, the Puget Sound area, those are kind of the two de facto capitals of the world in the Battletech universe.
Yeah, although the Puget Sound area hasn't been since Amaris, so...
This is true, but it's such a lovely area.
It is. As someone who lives a couple hours away, it is. What did you think of her constant proclamations about how she was going to burn the inner sphere down and rule the ashes, basically?
I mean, that's not off-brand for her.
Very in character, yeah. Very her, very Genghis Khan.
Yeah, she's always been crazy. I mean, there were a couple points where it felt a little cartoonish because at a certain point, it's just stop making proclamations. You're already on Terra. Just do it,
Yeah, and I don't understand her mindset, why she would want to destroy everything and burn the inner sphere down.
Well, I think in her mind it is the only way to be sure that no one will ever challenge what she builds, because there will be no memory of anything before, the kind of this is how it has always been and so this is how it will always be.
But do you get the sense that she wants to build anything out of her talks?
I get the sense that she wants their things to be built by her proclaiming that they now exist.
Because I got the sense that she just wants to burn it all down. Like she's going full Joker here. She feels the inner sphere needs to be wiped out, and she wants to be the one who rules over the wasteland that she leaves behind when she punishes the inner sphere.
Yeah, I mean, she is capital C crazy, right?
Yeah.
The false flag operation was very crazy.
Oh, yeah, that was not only crazy and tense, but also, I was reading this, I'm like, this is not going to end well for anybody.
Yeah. I was kind of sad to see Damian Redburn go out like that, though. That guy deserved way better.
He deserved way better, and he's been dealt dirty for a couple books, in my opinion.
one of those people who gets sacrificed on the altar of power by other people.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that, and then also I found it interesting the entire time Devlin Stone was like pushing like not to do it, but like when I stopped and think about it, that seems very Devlin Stone thing to do. Manipulate everyone. Maybe I've just read Devlin Stone wrong.
God, well, I don't think you did, because think about his constant proclamations of this great victory and that great victory. He never once would play it straight with other people. It was always about spinning everything.
Yeah. And I think the main reason that he was opposed to the idea is because Redburn was going to be the one leading it, and he knew when that happened he would lose Redburn. And Stone has a soft spot for Redburn in his heart, despite Redburn very much not having a soft spot for Stone anymore in his heart. And
well deserved, I think.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the position that Redburn took of the Fortress Republic has abandoned us is completely valid in my opinion. I mean, I understand the necessity for the Fortress Republic to protect Terra. I get that, but I think there was a middle ground.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I don't know if you needed, like, the Republic was in a desperate situation, but was the fortress really necessary, or was it just a desperation move to make dealing with some of their internal problems a little bit easier?
Yes.
Well, I guess that's for the short stories in the future to tell us, right?
Yeah, fair.
Both.
So how did, spoilers here. I think everybody has either spoiled or stopped listening already. Warbear. Like I said, I haven't read the previous stuff, so I'm not caught up. So Warbear's death didn't really affect me.
Which is unfortunate, because he's an awesome character.
Is he? He shows up in one book other than this.
And I don't doubt it. I'm sure it'll mean more to me when I go back and reread stuff.
That was my problem with his death, is that we either needed to push back Hour of the Wolf or have other people writing little mini, not like short stories about Warbear that make us be like, yeah, Warbear's this cool dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we get him in Children of the Kerensky, and he seems like a great character, but we don't see him enough to get a good feeling of who he is.
Yeah, when he passed, it was not I really like that character. It was like, that character seemed really awesome, and I wanted to see him do more,
Yeah.
Yeah. That was one thing I noticed, too, there were a number of characters from the Dark Ages who barely got any screen time. And then there were a number of characters who I don't really remember reading about in the Dark Ages or being attached to in the Dark Ages who got a lot of screen time. And it was kind of weird because I'm like, I'd never heard of this Sakhan Garner Kerensky before. I'm supposed to care about him, care about that he died. Like, give me Anastasia Kerensky. Like, that's who I read about during the Dark Ages.
Mm-hmm.
Give me some more. I'm trying to think of some of the other, like, what happened to her bondsman, the medic guy.
Oh, I'm trying to remember the name.
His name's not really important, but the point is there were a bunch, and I know a lot of Battletech fans didn't like the Dark Ages, didn't really read it.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, it just felt like you've got all these characters that you're introducing, and the only ones I really care about are the ones that are getting a lot of screen time, like General Vickers, or ones I already know about from the past, like Damian Redburn, Tara. But she didn't even get any real screen time in the first half.
She gets a little more in the second.
Yeah.
Janella Lakewood got almost no screen time.
I know, and she was a fairly important character in a number of Dark Ages novels.
She's quite literally in the first book.
So that just felt like, here's these people that maybe I made a mistake by moving to this before reading some of the build-up novels, but why am I caring about some of these characters, and the ones I do know about and I already care about aren't really getting screen time?
That's fair. I feel like part of that is the issue with, at least as far as I'm aware, and correct me if I'm wrong, but they don't actually have the rights to the Dark Age novels right now, which is why they're not up on the Catalyst e-store like all the classic Battletech novels. So they are distancing themselves from characters whenever possible because, well, it's feel-bads if you want to read about this person's origin and you can't because you can't find the book, or if you can, it's several $100s for a trade paperback.
Yeah, I don't know what the status of their rights to any of those books are, or the characters, which is the more important rights.
Mm-hmm.
I had the impression they had the rights to the characters and everything, but they didn't have the rights to like sell the books.
Okay.
Which, I mean, it makes sense because they've used a number of characters that were in those books, so they obviously have the rights to them.
Yeah, I mean, Alaric, great example. Malvina.
Tara.
Yeah.
I am really looking, like, when I started reading, I wasn't super motivated. Like, there's some fun stuff, but really, I don't even care about the Jade Falcon and Clan Wolf fight right now. I just want to find out what happens to Tara. Like, she's one of the few characters I actually care about because I know her from the past.
That and, Cassandra Kell, right?
Calamity Kell, yeah. Julian Davian, I'll be interested to see what he's doing, how he tries to restore the Fed Sons. But Anastasia, Tara, oh boy, they had a great character progression between the two of them during the Dark Ages. I really look forward to seeing what happens between them in the second half of this book.
For our data dive today, we are going to look at the Terran Hegemony again for Part 9. Ian Cameron looks to the future. When last I talked about the Terran Hegemony, we left with Ian Cameron solidifying his control of the government and military and crushing the September Revolt. With firm control now in hand, Ian looked outwards to the Inner Sphere to ensure the continued supremacy of the Terran Hegemony. It is a bit of an understatement to say that Ian's reign had a rocky start, but the insurrection was but a small threat compared to the looming economic crash that threatened the hegemony. For in the time that humanity has spread across the Inner Sphere, the other nations had bottled up and prevented the hegemony from expanding its resource base. This was mitigated by the introduction of the terraformed joint control worlds, but it was not enough to keep the massive economic powerhouse of the Terran hegemony supplied. As time marched on, the worlds the Terran hegemony controlled were slowly stripped of all abundant natural resources. This is the situation that Ian inherited, and if supplies stopped, the technological powerhouse of the Terran hegemony would grind to a halt, to say nothing of the regular economy or food supply.
See, this is the common misconception that leaders work under, that if you run out of resources, everything will grind to a halt. Simply means people will find other resources, or you can trade.
Trade? What is
maybe,
trade?
Maybe if they had traded instead of trying to do everything themselves, we wouldn't have this gloriously chaotic universe we battled in.
But where would the fun be in that? From Ian Cameron's perspective, the solution to the problem was the realization of a lifelong dream. The unification of humanity under one government, with Terra as the rightful place at the head of the community, and the end of the Age of War.
Can't stand this guy.
Knew you were gonna do that.
Yeah. The task was no small feat, as Ian knew it would take several decades, and maybe not accomplished in his lifetime, but as an idealist he was committed to the task. Before his brother's assassination, Ian had been an officer with the HAF, and after his service, traveled to many realms to meet with all but two of the leaders of the Inner Sphere and Periphery, and so had more experience and first-hand knowledge than many of his contemporaries and ancestors. This would be important as Ian laid the foundation for his life's project. Ian understood that information was vitally important, and so increased funding to the HAF, the Department of Foreign Relations, and increased funding in interstellar communication projects. Remember, class, we are still pre-HBG.
But we do have, or should have, black boxes.
Don't worry, guys. We'll fax you.
The Pony Express, I'm sure, is up and running at the very least. Andurian again?
Yes.
It's always Andurian's fault.
Them and the Regulans.
Yeah. In 2551, 20 years after the conclusion of the Second Andurian War, Terrence Liao pressed a claim to Andurian, in what can only be described as a cliché display of toxic masculinity. By attacking, he intended to prove his power as the first male leader of the Capellan Confederation in 2 decades. Albert Merrick, who was the victor of the Second Andurian War, came out of retirement and once again picked up the mantle of Director General to defend the Andurian system. One can only imagine what went through his mind, since it has been well documented that the crucible of the Second Andurian War turned Albert Merrick into a man with strong convictions for peace. The conflict would last 5 years before Terrence Liao admitted defeat and withdrew his forces. During those 5 years, Ian Cameron started his secret and not-so-secret talks with each of the nations of the Inner Sphere, notably the Free World League and the Capellan Confederation and the Lyran Commonwealth. Ian tried many times over the 5 years to negotiate a peace with the Capellan Confederation and the Free Worlds League, but Terrence Liao was adamant that the Andurian system would be his. Albert was more than intrigued by what Ian was saying. Ian and Andrew quickly found common ground and talked at length about possible plans in the future over the intermittent 5 years of negotiations. Craig Steiner and Ian Cameron were able to meet covertly and began talks of cooperation that were classified as ultra-secret.
Really? Craig? Our
Ultra
Craig?
secret.
But Ian was unable to convince Craig to commit the Steiner industrial base to the cause at the time, but inroads like this cannot be undervalued in setting the stage for the future. Ian was, after all, a child of Deborah, and so would not be dissuaded from his task. In 2556, he had the opportunity, with Terrence Liao finally wearing himself down to the point where he entered into peace talks, or more accurately, he wore down his military. The long duration of the negotiations allowed for Ian Cameron to ingratiate himself and earn the Chancellor's trust, traditionally not an easy task, and was able to convince the Chancellor of the wisdom of the plan. Albert, of course, was already privy to much of Ian's plans, but the opportunity to strengthen their relationship was valued by both men. Ian outlined his plans for unifying humanity under one government, ending the age of war, and uniting the inner sphere and the periphery nations. Each nation would retain its own internal authority and identity. I literally have a comment here saying pause for Josh to comment.
Why you don't need a top-down structure in order to have peace. Just stop attacking each other and start trading.
Terrence was understandably cautious, as it is understandable to not believe that this new Star League could or would keep out of internal affairs of the Capellan Confederation. Ian and Albert were able to secure the Chancellor's support by giving the Capellan Confederation the Favored Nation Treaty Agreement, providing them with some of the Terran Hegemony's valued tech. Albert then sealed the deal by ceding control of the Andurian system to the Capellan Confederation. The peace treaty that ended the war was signed in March of 2556, and in June of that year, the three members also signed the secret Treaty of Geneva that would be the first step in forming the Star League. This is where we will leave off today, with what historians call the official end of the Age of War. But as we all know, in reality, it is not that clean. And before we reach the air quotes golden age of the Star League, we will have many events to cover.
And many deaths to account for.
1 or 2, maybe 3.
Billion.
Billion, 2. When you gotta size the inner sphere, what's a billion folks between friends?
Yeah.
Or enemies.
It's same thing.
Our sources for today are Sarna, Battletech Battlemech Manual, Master Unit List, TRO 3039, Record Sheets 3039 Unabridged, Record Sheets 3085 Project Phoenix, TRO 3075, Record Sheets 3075 Age of War, TRO 3085, Record Sheets 3085 Project Phoenix Unabridged, TRO The Golden Century, Battle of Tukid, Operational Turning Point, Periphery, Franck Reaches, Recognition Guide Volume 11, Battletech Dossier The Bounty Hunter, and Star League Sourcebook.
Also numerous Dark Age novels and Hour of the Wolf.
Good stuff.
This podcast is made possible by our supporters on patreon.com/On the Origin of Battlemechs, link in the description. Our social media on Twitter is @Origin of Mechs. We also have a community Discord, the Armory of Ouroboros, link in the description. You can email us at ontheoriginofbattlemechs@gmail.com. If you enjoy the show, please leave a review on your platform of consumption, tell your friends about us, and share on your community platform of choice. Special thanks to my friend Laura for the intro and outro. Class dismissed. Everybody have a great day.
Peace out, Mech Warriors.
Stay safe out there.
Module complete. System standby. Would you like to load the next module?
So Battletech Girl Scout cookies. Come up with your favorite designs for every great house and faction and post them in the channels that you talk to us in. There you go. That is your mission should you choose to accept it.
So
the adepts
Lieutenant
from...
Dixon is from...
No, you go.
Go ahead.
So the adepts from...
the adepts from...
Oh my god.
Now you know how it feels, huh?
I don't apologize.
That's fair. I didn't ask you to.